Welcome to Lillie Building Company, building the future, repairing the past, episode number 5. Oi, oi! Welcome back. Hope you've all had a great week and weekend down at Project Duffield today. Pouring down outside, so we're making the most of what we can inside. Quite a lot's changed in this last week and a bit. We've had the electricians have got their first fix more or less completed upstairs. Plumbers have been in cracking on with their first fix, and we've had the plasterers in getting these stud walls and some of the other walls and ceilings in the property boarded as well, ready for skimming. Now, ceilings on this, something really interesting, and that we always do. I don't know if other people do it or not, but above here, I'm on the upstairs of this building in the main hallway thoroughfare between all the bedrooms. Above this, we're going to re-insulate. I think we actually might have re-insulated most of this loft already, but got a load of loft insulation going in there, 350mm. And then effectively, you have to have a separation layer between the cold bridge, the cold part of the loft, which is the open roof area, and the warm part, which is the insulation, and what we've got down here. So what we've done on this is, you can see over here, is we've put a VCL in, so that gets stapled on, and then we've started plasterboarding these ceiling areas. Now this grey board, this is a standard plasterboard, so that's fine to use in an area that doesn't get wet, it's not in a shower area, or there's not going to be any issues with fire. You'll notice I've put a pink board up on that area there. That's because there's a steel that goes in, and that steel is actually supporting a real chunky purlin support, which is a big old lumpy piece of timber like that. Now bathrooms, we want to make sure that our client gets the absolute best that they can out of these rooms. They maximise that space and capacity, and that they get a great product as well. Now we've been working with our client and with their bathroom designer to do exactly that. We've now got the bathroom designs fully signed off. There's still a couple of little bits to get in terms of pipework, services and what have you into the bathrooms. So we've not started boarding or insulating these. We've got an AR35 rock wall product that goes in these walls, and then we're going to face plasterboard over. Now you've always got options with bathrooms, whether you go for a green moisture board like we've got on this ceiling here, whether you go for a blue aqua board, or it's a cement board if you've got a big tile. There's other sort of fibre boards that you can use if you've got a wet room and stuff going in. In this one, we've got bath going here, and then we've got a WC going in on this side, and we've got a wash hand basin with a mirror going in there. So it's a relatively low water area, if you will, for a bathroom. So what we're doing on this one is, again, we're going to make the very most of it that we can, and we're going to moisture board all of these walls. We might actually use an aqua board on here, I think is the right thing to do. If you remember, this is the wall that I decided to take down when the client was on holiday, and now that's been studded, and we're moving on with that one. The plasterers have done really well elsewhere as well. This is going to be a laundry cupboard, so we've made a start on getting that in. And over in here, in this one, this is an interesting bit of factoid if you're into your construction. This house has got a really small cavity. The cavity is like 50mm of when it was built, with no insulation in there at all. So what we're doing in this room here is we're actually going to put an insulated plasterboard on those perimeter walls, and that'll be a standard that goes into the window reveal when the new windows go in. 50.5mm we'll put on that, so just trying to get them as much as we can in there without compromising on room space. This here is a structural stud wall. That's actually going to have wardrobes going on there. So we're sort of making use of that. And rather than having to put mattresses in, it's already there, which is great. One thing that we have got on the staircase, I would love to put an insulated plasterboard on this. We still may be able to. The thing that we need to discuss with a client this week is just the abutment detail with this stair string here, because if we're putting another 50.5mm, we're going to pass over that stringer, and we want to make sure that it looks decent after. We might actually end up putting a wet plaster product on there and not an insulated board, but we shall see where we're going, how we're going. Let's have a little look downstairs. Everyone's going to try and hide now because it's peeing down, so we're having a bit of a hybrid tea break. This is the insulation that we're putting in for these stud walls upstairs. Great stuff. Really, really like the rock wall. We've got a set of double doors going on here, so we've put this stud partition, first bit of plastering done on the project, which is great, really. So we've got to make our way down here. Obviously, there's a lot to go in terms of what's in the ceilings. Majority of the services are in there, so we can start dropping down. Once we're finished upstairs, we'll be dropping straight down here again to get these bits boarded and skimmed. So yeah, lots and lots going on down. Lots and lots going on here. The plasterers actually aren't here today. They're pulling in another project for me, so they're away for 2 days and then coming back in once the plumber and the electrician have done their next phase. So it's good to keep everyone busy. Let's go and take a little look outside in the pouring rain. Just keep it rolling because we can fast forward through this bit anyway. April loves a little fast forward. That's beautiful. So, pond. Lads have had a really, really good push on this garden. It's frustrating to see that we've got this on-off weather today when we could really be maximising this beautiful garden that we've got here. It's just huge and it's going to look amazing. So I've got a pond here. We've put the design shows like a shelf system going in. There's another course of blocks to go on the outside, and then effectively this will be the same height when it's finished as what the paving line is over there. They've got some planting going on, or some water plants going on that top section there, and then the rest of it's traditional pond. Gets GRP'd, and then they put like a rockery and stuff around it, which I think is going to look really cool. Me and Steve's running this project. We've been talking this morning about levels on the outside, what we've taken off, what's got to go back in. Obviously, there's a big old path that goes through here. And I just want you to see that now this halfpenny, all the brickwork on this is done. Just needs a bit of a clean down. And then we've got a set of steps going in there where I've just huckle-buckled up there. I did an ultramarathon the weekend, so I'm surprised I can walk. Feeling very grateful for it though, very grateful indeed. So yeah, we've got this halfpenny going in now, which is done. The lads are stoning this up today, and they're also stoning up in this back garden area as well. It's all back garden, what am I on about? And they're also stoning up this large patio area up here where they've got patio going in and then a workshop going in that end. So we've got workshop going in here and then like a big seating area. On the original design, this was much, much smaller, and there was like a gravel border that went around the back and side. So you'd speak to the client tomorrow and see whether they want to kind of try and put that back in. And the workshop, was right over the other side, which the client wanted to move it out of the way so they're not sat looking at the workshop from their living room. But looking really good here. I love coming to this job. It's one of my favourite projects to look at. They're all my favourite, but this has got a real piece of my heart here. So it's looking really, really good. The sun's coming out now. I'm going to go and encourage the boys to get back out here and make the most of probably about 30 seconds worth of sun. Let's go over and have a little look down at Project West, because that's where our plasterers are today. It's recording as soon as it hits my face. We got it? Where are we? Fuck no. Welcome back to Project West. Bit of a change of weather now. It's a little bit cooler than what it was when we were over at Project Duffield. Just want to whiz you through this one really quick. We spoke a few times about these stud walls on here. If you remember, there's a big old lump of steel that goes within this new opening there, and a steel bar that goes up, which basically holds up the ridge beam, which then holds up the crank steel and the roof and all the rest of it. All that's in, all that's done. It's boarded, ready to go. We spoke a little bit about plasterboard in the last section of this, which is over at Project Duffield. Pink plasterboard going in where all the steels are, and then above here we've got that really lumpy 87.5mm insulated plasterboard Fuck me, mate. I'll just stay. I'll start again because I fucked that bit up. Welcome back to Project West. Weather's changed a little bit from what we were over at Project Duffield. Nice and warm over there. Got a little bit of rain now we're down here. Great to be back. Plasterers are in, making some serious moves. And if you remember, we spoke quite a few times about these steels in the back of this house, which is basically to form these real nice wide openings. And we've got a steel bar that sits on top of that one, which holds up that ridge beam, which then holds up the crank beam, holds up the roof. You get where I'm at, all of that kind of stuff. What we've done on this one, spoke about plasterboard up at Duffield. Again here, we've got pink plasterboard where all of these steels are to give us that bit of fire rating. And then we've got this 87.5mm insulation backed plasterboard in because there's loads of glass in this one as well. So that's on both ceilings. We've got insulated plasterboard that again will go just around the tops of these window reveals here. And then we've actually got fire rated plasterboard that goes around this steel column. Little bit for them to do. And then we've got the underfloor heating squad and the screed going in Friday. We're using a quick drying product on that. So hopefully within the next 3 weeks, we'll be able to get all of that done and floors laid. Let's take it now over to HQ for a little bit of a team meeting. Welcome back to what was called Project No Name, but is now called Project K. Had a few moves on this one, a few new things have happened. First things first, you'll remember that last time we were here, we just got that core hole through, I think that was going through. We'd plastered this, we've actually taken that off to make it a bit easier for getting pipe work to and from our macerator, including coal feed going there and the waste. Wanted to try and avoid boxings in this toilet area because it is fully tiled. Now Danny's been here and he has been tiling. Not sure how well you can see, it's pretty dark until the lighting goes in, but we started getting this tiled here. Still got the toilet to go in there and the sink to go in once that's completed. Electricians have been in and they've done part of their rewire down here for getting these light fittings in. We've got a bit of plastering work to go on. New heating systems gone in. Got floors to tile. This was never actually part of the original work scheme down here. When we came to price it originally, it was purely for stuff upstairs, which was one stud wall and moving a bathroom around. And bit by bit, really grateful, but we're working, don't fall on the stairs, that we're working our way through redeveloping and remodelling this entire project. Again, last time we were here, you'll remember that we had plastered these rooms and we were putting skirtings on and the boxings. That's all done, now decorated for our client. They've moved into that bedroom over there. Much more comfortable for them. We've taken up all these old clay quarry tiles. I love those little clay quarry tiles. And they seem to be coming back. It's really interesting because we've actually just had the plans back for the kitchen. And they've gone for a solid oak kitchen, which they're coming back again. It's great. We were talking yesterday just about how there's like a 20 to 30 year evolution of time of how fashion changes and how styles and things change. New boiler's gone in. I posted a photo of this on Instagram. I think Ben and the plumbers have done a really, really good job with that. It's just neat. It's so neat, really neat, and I'm really grateful to have them boys involved. So new rads in here, new boiler. Kitchen designs come back. We've talked about tiles. In here, the lads were taking the chimney down. That's now down. All of these tiles have been uplifted. Another thing that we've spoke about recently that we're just going to get sorted out and get some selections of doors over is this archway is going to come out and a flat lintel is going to go in there to make that a nice square opening. Eventually again, those doors change and there'll be an oak door set go on there. And then we've got into here and Danny's just ran away to his van because he hates being on camera. I'm going to catch him one day in his natural habitat. But Danny's also started getting this tiled as well. So we've got most of this bordered. Once that toilet and sink's in downstairs, this can be stripped out. And then this room again gets fully tiled in. They're using the same tiles downstairs as upstairs. So we've got tray in, shower and that's in. We've got shower screen going in tomorrow. So it gives our client a shower back. So at the moment, Karen just said to me, the client, lady client, I've never done so much swimming, so they're certainly making use of their gym membership at the moment, which is really, really good. But I'm really happy here. Again, walls have been plastered. It's really nice to see pink on the walls and nicely tiling going in and nice to catch up with the client on what's a great little project that's constantly moving and constantly growing legs, which, you know, that's always a good thing, isn't it? So we are now going to take it over to a new project that we've got, where we're kind of a couple of days from starting that, but I want to just take you over there and we'll talk you through what's going on. So let's take a trip down or across over into Nottinghamshire, where we're going over to Project Raptor. Welcome to Project Raptor, a brand new commercial project for us right in the heart of Nottinghamshire. We're going to be taking this wonderful white box and creating a brand new bar and tap room for our clients. Taking a little bit of time to get boots on the ground, got a lot of coordination to do between designs and with the planners and with the tenant's landlord as well. Very grateful to finally have some boots on the ground. Got a 12-week program on this, which starts front end with stripping all of this latex off the floor and then scabbling the floor, cleaning the floor, ready for our epoxy resin and paint to go down. So far, I've just had a little play, and it's actually come up relatively okay. I think in a previous life, this building was used as a mock-up for student accommodation. You can certainly make out where some of the stud walls and stuff were beforehand, and then where they've applied their latex for their floor coverings and stuff in there. So that's got to come up. Then in 2 weeks today, I believe it is, we've got a mezzanine floor going in above, which essentially is built in between these. Double-storey deck, so on the ground floor down here, you've got the bar itself going in. You've then got staff toilet, office, changing rooms, and they've got like a little breakout area in there. And then above it, you've got male toilets, female toilets, and a little seating area. In addition to that, do my little bit again. This accessible toilet gets knocked down, it gets rebuilt. So originally, we were just going to take the roof off and put a new fire-rated ceiling, but I just can't see the point on that. We've got, again, on top where these toilets are, there's two toilet cubicles go in there, there's stud walls to go up in there. This wall itself here isn't up to regs, so we're actually going to strip the plasterboard off of that and then put 2 skins of pink plasterboard in there. We spoke quite a lot about plasterboard in this episode and in previous episodes as well. As time moves on and regulations are changing, specs changing, the colour of the plasterboard has never been more important. So I'm excited to get on with that one. Waste on this one's going to be a challenge. We spoke in the last episode about the problems that we're currently having with drainage. On here, there's actually a basement underneath this. I believe the building used to be an old BT phone exchange. So what we've got to do there is there's a big old waste pump going in here, and then all of the toilets basically go shot up and into that 6-inch waste pipe there. And then over on this one, where the accessible is, there'll be a macerator standalone that goes into there. We've also got some external works to do. So at the back, there's some like a glass block infill. That's got to be altered. We're putting a fire door in there in a steel frame and then patching all that in with a little bit of cladding as well. I don't know if I've missed anything else. I don't think I have. But I'm really excited to get moving with this one. 3-month program on here should be perfect. CZ, Shane, and the elusive Mr. H, I've got loads and loads to be doing it down here as well. So I'm really excited to see how this evolves over the course of the next couple of weeks. Let's take it back on a little journey to HQ. So I totally forgot to film anything yesterday when I got back from Project West. But now I am back at HQ and it's 6:45 in the morning. So I'm definitely going to be the first one in the office. And I think there's only me. There's a fit out company that they start really early. And there's also a company that they actually work through the night roasting coffee that are down here, which is good. It's a real community feel down where we are. Well, we've got our yard, which is nice. Gonna whack the kettle on as well. So we've got a hell of a lot going on with new projects coming in constantly that we are pricing and getting those estimates back out. Myself, Jacob and George working really, really hard on that. We've got a number of projects, just looking at our project board now, that are in planning. So we're just waiting for 3 to come back on that there, 4 to come back, sorry. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 live. and then about the same that we've sending contracts and stuff out for this week, and there's a bit of negotiation. Been price increases again for the start of June, which means that a lot of the stuff that we've actually got live at the moment, depending on what stage that it's at, with that and stuff that we've priced up prior that people want to go ahead with, we're now actively repricing. Now I've got a new project starting within the next week or two, Project Raptor, and the other thing that we've been doing is getting all of the risk assessment method statements and all the safety stuff together for that. With it being a commercial project, they've got a CDM coordinator and the client has got a safety consultant also involved in the project. We've got our safety consultant involved too. So not one, but 2 folders full of risk assessments and method statements. I sometimes feel like we're the only building contractor of our size that goes to all of that, that does that. I've got another member of my family that works for another builder, doesn't want to work for me, which I kind of get, which is fine. And he works for a domestic builder and they have next to nothing on their projects. I'm really keen to see what other people do on theirs and how they manage that element of it. I feel like sometimes we go the extra mile, which is good. That's where I really, really want to be for pricing, procuring, delivering, finishing, handing over, and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'm really keen to gauge where we are. I've got to go and get ready for a pre-let meeting. So I've got about an hour for that. I need to leave the office in about 8 o'clock to take a long old journey up to another project that I can't yet talk about, that we have successfully won, is that the right word? I don't know, acquired, and that we've been appointed on in the next few weeks, that I can't wait to start talking about that one, because it's something very, very different to us. Let's go and do that, and then we may get time to pop round some more projects this afternoon. Take care. Welcome back to Project Duffield. You'll remember we were here right at the start of this episode. I was tooting and loading some stone into the lads' barrows. Then the weather turned a little bit ugly, so we went and filmed some internal updates. Now we've got a bit of sunshine back, so I'm going to go through some of the external works. Lads have been really busy here. We've completed this pretty big old patio. We've got a workshop going in here. Going to use this, do the Annika Rice again. Going to use this area here as a bit of breakout space. Kind of in my head, I've got this vision of a bit of work in the workshop, cheese and ham toasty, cup of tea, or whatever your method of, your poison of choices, shall we call it. And then I've actually included these sort of large gravelled areas in here, which I thought break up a little bit of texture for one. It's nice to have different textures in there. And I also thought if our client actually wants to bring up and put some like raised planter beds in there, they've got the opportunity to, because we've obviously got some big old trees and stuff that are around. These actually do get trimmed back. The previous occupant had been using up here, because it's so far away from the house, to have fires and stuff, so it's killed all this part of tree off, which I think is a real shame. We've now got our aluminium ever edging. Spoke about these quite a bit in the past on other projects, but they'll help us retain the division between the lawn and then the self-compacting breed and aggregate that we've got going on there. We've raked out our retained topsoil. That's all gone down. It needs a right good rake through. It's very bitty and very stony, so the guys that are doing the turfing, I'm going to work in with them to get some really nice topsoil here, get all this vegetation out, and then get a mixed topsoil. Because topsoil is actually, there's quite a lot of science in topsoil, but we're going to get them to provide us with the right contacts so we can get that topsoil here. We want the stuff that's right for lawns. This big old halfpenny patio, again, we've actually got porcelain being delivered for this week, but we've got some real naff weather again coming in towards the end of the week as well. The lads have got these steps in. I think these are really cool. I really like how the difference in the angles and stuff are. And I don't want to go in the mud because I'll get told off for walking on their finished products and stuff, but you can see down here, or I can see, I'll take a photo, how's that? we've actually cladded the side of these steps with that. So these, what you'd call them really, almost like a kind of like a king coin. Somebody in the comments will definitely correct me on what they're called, I'm sure, or via Instagram. And we've actually cladded the side of those as well, just to really make that look nice and finished. And then we've got to grout all those in. They're quite expensive, these. I don't know how much they are each. Something stupid like £7, but they're just a solid blue brick that's been cut in half. But they do look pretty cool. That same pattern on there actually carries on all the way through here. And then we've got a big old bit of a planting bed in there. So we've put in a temporary sort of shutter in there, and then we're going to topsoil all that up. Then that continues round. One thing that I love about this garden, I love everything about this garden really, but one thing that I really love about this garden is this pond. Pond's now up to height. We're getting to that point where we've really been thinking about levels since we got that top patio in and worked our way all the way down. And what I'm stood on here is actually the same height as the door threshold over there. We've got this, obviously, quite a large patio to go in. And then, considering where the fall locations are, typically you'd fall it away from the house into where these retaining walls are. And if it was square, you'd put eco drains in, or a linear drain. Other ones are available, I'm sure. But on here we can't because it's curved, and I just don't see how we can make that look great. So instead what we're actually doing is echoing against the back of the house, and then falling it all back there. And then this kind of becomes like the porcelain goes through the flat section. And then between the briquette and the paver that's here, we're gonna have a heel rated lid of an eco drain that goes through there that helps basically take the water off of that and off of this. This will be semi-permeable anyway, because it's not fully grouted like the porcelain is, so you'll still have the open joint where water and stuff can get through. Got a little gravelled area going in down here. The other thing that we've had start this week, which I'm going to go around the front in a minute, but because there are some changes inside, but we've got windows. Windows have started going in. So, and these look great. So, really nice to get windows in. Let's go have a look inside because there's some changes inside. Just follow me through. We can speed it up for you and keep it rolling, you see. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we're still rolling. Structural repairs we've started doing. You remember way earlier in the episodes we spoke about the trees, the weeping willows, and the issues that we had with foundations and foundation depths. There was quite a lot of cracking around this front door here, underneath the window. So we've actually taken some bricks out that we're split in half, and we've put crack rods in on those. And right to the top of this arch here, all of that there, we've actually replaced that brickwork, and we've put stitch tying kits in there. Because there was so much demo on here, we have actually saved quite a few bricks, which have finally come in really handy. So all right, we're rolling. So from inside, you'll see new windows are going in, and we've got these heightened sills in because we're going to tile into those as well and try and keep that same equilibrium all the way around that flat plastered head rather than that being bordered. We've now got a niche going in there behind the bath, which I think will look cool. That was a change from last week. Love these fixed framed windows, they look really cool. And in here we've got a niche going in there. In fact, to stud this out to get the pipe working in the shower controls, and originally I wanted to put a wall all the way through and put the shower controls on this side, but the client didn't like that, which is fair. So instead we're going to put a glass screen in there, and because we've got a vanity unit in here, it just won't work. So controls are going to go in over there, little niche in there, shower head there, which I think will look really cool. And this vanity unit that we've got going in is a purpose-made dual vanity unit made to measure from Italy, which is going to look the bees bits, yeah. So that's going to look really cool. Not much else really happened, mainly windows going in at the moment. And then I believe, just spoke to the window boys, downstairs the aluminium goes in towards the back end of this week / early next week, which then means that we are completely watertight. And in 2 weeks' time, this will be filled with plasterers and all the likes. And then straight behind them, we're going to start mist coating in and then getting the tile crew in as well. So lots and lots and lots going on here today and moving forward as well. So we've also just started a little garage conversion, and let's go and have a look at that one over there where the plasterers are there currently getting the stud walls up and starting to board and skim whatever they can. Right, I've managed to catch the plasterers in action in their natural habitat. Welcome to another wonderful garage conversion that we've got on at the moment. Slightly different, this one. It's not our design or our architect, so we came and priced this a little while ago. The client had to get planning permission for this one because when it's a new build. When they bought the property, the garage was included as a parking space. So it's had to go over to planning. We've now got planning for it, and then we're cracking on inside. So the architect that they appointed actually in the design for this put all of these walls in as insulated plasterboard. Now this wall here, don't want to touch it and get in trouble, is a cavity wall. So there's insulation in that. That's a cavity wall there. Behind this bit of partition, it's really small, behind this partition here, there's solar panels on the roof and all the solar kits within the confines of that storage area, and there's an external door that goes onto that. That wall there's a cavity wall. So the only bit of flat block work or non-cavity construction is actually in there. So that's the only bit of insulated plasterboard in there, which is really good for our clients. It's meant that we've been able to bring the costs right down, so it's a lot more cost effective. It's been nice to work with that fabric than what we normally have, which is we end up probably ploughing the best part of like 1,500, 600 quid's worth of plasterboard on most of these. We've moved the lighting, overskinned the ceiling. As normal, most of these, every garage floor generally will have a sloping floor existing. So what we've done, and you can either screed them or you can put a timber frame. What we've chosen to do on this one is put an insulated timber frame in there all the way through. The final kind of part of this one, and we generally always do this, is we've got an underbuild going on here of cavity brickwork and blockwork. And then we've got a window going in, so there's a slight infill on each side as well. But we're wanting to leave the garage door up because the weather has taken a real horrible, smelly turn for the worst. And the brickies can't get in until, all being well, tomorrow if the rain stops. So we're probably the best part of a week away from this. The window's been ordered and the window sill as well on its way. So there's a stone sill going on there. And then this will be another one wrapped up for our client over here. You know, but so welcome back to Project West. I cannot get to grips with this weather. Start of the week it was t-shirts and shorts, and we were considering flip-flops and margaritas, and now it's pouring it down with rain. Certainly feel very sorry for those people that are at Download Festival this weekend, going to be getting very wet feet and very wet tents indeed. Really nice to now be back inside the property. We've spoke about this loosely, but never kind of gone through in too much detail what's happened on the inside of here. So originally, this door here actually took you into a dining room. Stud walls went into here, and now clients got this as a really functional and useful utility room space. Kitchen's been completely remodeled. There was a wall across here, and that was their utility room, so that got knocked through to give them some more space in this kitchen. Such a beautiful space here as well. Really open, really light, really bright. Cooker tap in, which I absolutely love. We've had this bridging unit built around the fridge freezer as well. And again, this log burner was based on single side. So we've put lintels in here. That's been opened up, it's been tiled, and they've got this beautiful two-way log burner in there. So I love this space. The tiles that were on the floor in this proportion, Again, they were an original, so we've done our utmost to match those. We're actually able to find the original stone supplier that still stocked these tiles. So we've put them in there as well. Originally, there was a door set that was in there. Now that's been infilled because the partition wall actually is more or less in the middle of that area there, which obviously has divided the back of the playroom and the back of the utility room. Now, the other thing to note on this one is we've finally got the bifold doors and the fixed frames in here, which we spoke about quite a few times, just how much glass there is in here. So got these lovely set of bifold doors on here, got a fixed frame system in here, just waiting for the clapping strips to arrive for them. So they'll be put on as part of snags, and got a set of bifolds in here. The floor layers are starting next week with getting this floor laid, but we have got one slight conundrum, which is actually in the original screed of this property. When it came to setting the floor levels and stuff out in here, we used the height of the back of the old playroom as our screed height. And what we didn't realise was on the existing screed and the existing tile, from that point there to this point here, the screed actually raises by 15 millimetres. And it's 15 millimetres that way, and it's about 8 millimetres from left to right. Now I've got Condine floor going down in here. So over that threshold where the two floors meet, you would definitely see that, which means that we've discussed with the client the best option. We feel the best option is to take a metre back of this tiling and then essentially grind this floor down. Grind all the floor screed down and then relay that back in, relay the Condine in there as well. The plasterers have got a little bit left to do, so they're back in tomorrow to plaster that part of the ceiling, get the reveal cheeks on around the doors and windows and around those H-beams as well. And then if you step over here, I think the last time we came actually was just before the underfloor heating, the screed went down. Big shout out to 21 Degrees on that one, for cracking in and getting both the underfloor heating pipework and manifold in about 2 hours, and then screeding all on the same day, which meant that we could continue with progress on there. The manifold is in around this cheek reveal on this side. The client's going to have some cabinetry that covers that over there. And then I think long-term, one of the discussions at the moment is whether they put a set of doors in here or not. So certainly something that's being considered. So yeah, lots going on here. I'm really looking forward to getting this week tucked out the way and getting next week started down here with the floor layers. It's going to make such a difference to get that done, and then we can get in and second fix the underfloor heating side and the electrical part as well. So what a week it's been. I think it's been a great week. It's been a challenging week. When is there never a challenging week in construction? Especially into early June. We're getting used to those price increases yet again. We were hoping that we'd get some nice summer weather, yet we're met with real heavy rain today. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a very, very, very rewarding week. We continue to receive drawings from people and people looking for estimates, and new work constantly being priced and old work being repriced, and things are finally getting through planning. So it's all looking very good. I bid you farewell. I hope you've had a fantastic week and weekend. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.